Welcome to Chapter 3 of our storytelling series. Today, we're diving into life in the countryside, a look at the seasons, family, and all the hard work and joy that come with them. The seasons shaped life in the countryside, and each one brought challenges and joys. Winters were long and cold. The snow blanketed the fields, turning everything white. Our farm animals needed extra care to keep warm, and the days were spent chopping firewood and preparing for the harsh weather. My mother and grandmother would spend more time in the kitchen, making hearty soups and stews that warmed us after a day's work. The house smelled of baking bread and spices, and we would gather by the fire to listen to my grandfather's stories. In contrast, summers were hot and busy. The sun beat down on the fields, and the days were long. My father, Mohammed, worked tirelessly in the fields, watering the crops and making sure everything was growing well. There was always something to do. My mother, Zainab, kept the garden alive during the dry months, while Emre and I helped with small tasks like picking fruits and vegetables or carrying water. We spent evenings outside, enjoying the cool breeze that would come as the sun set, and sometimes my grandmother would bring out her homemade lemonade. Spring and autumn were my favorite times of the year. Spring was the season of new life. The snow melted, revealing the rich soil underneath, and we planted seeds for the new harvest. The air was fresh, and the countryside came alive with the sounds of birds and the scent of flowers. Autumn, on the other hand, was the season of harvest. The fields were golden with ripe crops, and there was a feeling of accomplishment in the air. It was a time to gather everything we had grown and prepare for the cold winter ahead. Through every season, my family worked hard. My parents, Zainab and Mohammed, were always busy with the farm. My father spent his days out in the fields, planting, watering, and harvesting the crops. He taught me that farming wasn't just about growing food, it was about respecting the land and everything it gave us. My mother worked both inside and outside the house. She grew vegetables, tended to the fruit trees, and preserved food for the winter. The kitchen was always filled with jars of pickled vegetables and fruits. I loved helping her, and her homemade jams and special pilaf were famous in the family. My grandparents lived nearby and were a big part of my life. My grandfather had his small garden and loved teaching me how to plant seeds and care for the crops. My grandmother was always cooking something delicious, and her stories, like my grandfather's, filled my head with wonder and excitement. Life in the countryside wasn't easy, but it taught me the value of hard work and the importance of family. Every season brought new challenges, but we faced them together, and that's what made it special. The quiet fields, the cold winters, the hot summers, and the love of my grandparents are memories I will carry with me forever. Thanks for joining me for Chapter 3. If you enjoyed this journey into countryside life, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories. See you in the next chapter.